Hey Hope, my name is Mary Solis. I'm the Connections Pastor at the Frisco West Campus. So excited to finally be getting to share with you guys today on Hope's Daily Devo. When I was younger, I loved going to concerts. I was a huge concert junkie, and we all have the friend, right, who likes to go backstage or try to go backstage, but they don't have a pass. They just say, be cool, be confident, walk back there like you're supposed to be there. No one will question it. No, I didn't believe in that. I believed in rules, and I knew this, that there were certain people that were allowed certain access to certain places, and it wasn't all that different in the time of Jesus. There were people with higher status that could do things that other people couldn't do, and one of the most exclusive things you could do was be in God's presence. Now, God's presence in this day was in the Holy of Holies. That was God's sanctuary where God lived. The presence of God lived. It was so exclusive that there was only one person, the high priest, could only go there one time a year after doing a list of rituals. He wasn't a tax collector, that's for sure. He definitely wasn't a fisherman. No one ordinary was allowed back into the Holy of Holies, only the high priest. A few days ago, we celebrated Easter, and maybe you, like myself, tend to close the book on Easter after we celebrate it on Sunday, but I think there's more. We forget that Jesus, when he rose again, he didn't immediately go back. He hung out a while, hung out with his disciples, gave them a really big commandment to go make disciples, and then he ascended into heaven. And in Acts 2, we find the disciples sitting, just chilling, in the upper room. And maybe you've heard of the upper room. This is a moment in history. This is a shifting moment for the disciples. I assume that they're sitting there probably thinking okay, now what? What do we do now? Our friend's gone. Jesus is not here. He tells us to go make disciples. Where do we go now? What do we do now? And something new happens. It says that there was a mighty rushing wind, tongues of fire. They started speaking in other languages, praising God, and there's a lot of different interpretations of what happens in this moment, but I think that we can all agree that these disciples, these tax collectors, fishermen, people that followed a rebel to the cross, experienced God's presence in that upper room. I don't know about you, but I'm so grateful that when God sent Jesus to live, die, resurrect, it wasn't because he was flashy. It was because he wanted to give you and I all access passes to his presence. This is what it says in Jeremiah way before Jesus even was on the scene. It says this, "Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not like the covenant that I made with their fathers on the day when I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt." Skipping down, it says, right here on verse 33, "For this is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, declares the Lord. I will put my law within them, and I will write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. And no longer shall each one teach his neighbor and his brother, saying, 'Know the Lord,' for they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest, declares the Lord." And I think that that's such a powerful thing that we can hold on to today, that we can know him, that all people can know him from the least to the greatest. So maybe you don't have access to your favorite coffee shop or restaurant, maybe your workplace or your church. But know this, that you have access to God's presence in your room, in your closet, in your car, no matter where you are, you can access him. His doors are not closed to you today. Let's pray. Lord, I thank you so much for everyone tuning in right now. God, I thank you that you're with us no matter what situation or circumstance we find ourselves in today, that you're giving us strength, peace, joy, restoration. Whatever we need, it can be found in you, Lord. We love you and we honor you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thanks, guys.